When Christmas lights illuminate every street corner and warm songs echo through cozy homes. It's also when shadows quietly creep into people's lives. We often think of the holidays as a time of safety, of love and gathering. But the following 3 stories will remind you that sometimes Christmas can bring something colder than snow, fear and haunting memories. These are 3 true stories, all of which happened during winter inside homes that seemed warm and safe. Are you ready? Turn off the lights, put in your headphones and listen closely. Because some things only happen when you're alone, on a snowy night. Story 1. The Figure in the Dark. When my 2-year relationship ended, I returned to my quiet, solitary life. At first, living alone felt freeing, liberating even. But within a month, that freedom began to feel like a heavy void. I wasn't sure if I was the type who needed attachment, or if I simply couldn't handle the silence. So I went back to Tinder. I matched with a few people, but nothing really stood out until a girl named Tracy messaged me. We had talked a few weeks prior, but she suddenly ghosted me, only occasionally viewing my stories. Then one early December evening, I posted a photo of my Christmas tree and some decorations on Snapchat. And out of nowhere, she messaged, "Have you decorated your place yet? I can help." She suggested coming over to set up the tree together. I agreed, partly because I was excited, but mostly because I didn't want to be alone anymore. I told her to come around 9 p.m. It was already dark out, so I rushed to the store to grab a couple bottles of wine. Back home, I cleaned up, dimmed the lights, positioned the couch facing the fireplace, trying to make the place feel cozy and inviting. 9 o'clock came. Then 9:15. Nothing. I started thinking she'd bailed until 9:30. My phone buzzed with a message, "I'm here." I opened the door and froze. Tracy was at least 6'1", towering in the doorway. Long black hair, heavy eye makeup, and a thick, overwhelming scent of perfume so strong it felt like she was masking something off. She walked in and sat right next to me, so close our knees touched. Something wasn't right. She didn't look like her pictures. She seemed older, different. Her eyes were unreadable. As I poured the wine, she accidentally spilled a red streak across my light blue sofa. She apologized repeatedly, and I just gave a strained smile, quietly wiping it up. Trying to ease the tension, I went upstairs to grab the tree from the attic. While rummaging around, the lights flickered. I figured it was just a faulty bulb. But when I came back down, Tracy was gone from the living room. I called out, but no answer. I checked each room and assumed maybe she stepped outside for a smoke. I sat back on the couch, grabbed my phone, and I don't remember falling asleep. I woke up to complete darkness. No lights, no TV off. The room eerily silent. My body felt heavy, my limbs unresponsive. I fumbled for my phone, lit up the screen, and its glow reflected off a figure standing directly in front of me. A tall silhouette, motionless, silent, just staring down at me. I stammered. "Tracy," no reply. I turned on the flashlight and it was her. Tracy, unmoving, expressionless, just standing there like she was waiting for something. I couldn't move. I didn't know if it was fear or something she drugged me with. Then she slowly turned and bolted down the stairs, each footstep pounding like thunder through the house before the door slammed shut. I struggled to stand, staggering through every room. All of my prescription meds, Adderall, vitamins, even my leftover oxycodone gone. The vodka in the upstairs mini fridge gone. She hadn't come to decorate a tree. She came to drug me and take everything of value to a desperate addict. Police couldn't trace anyone named Tracy. The Snapchat was deleted. The phone number untraceable. All that remained was the final image of her standing silently in the dark, her face devoid of emotion. as if I wasn't human to her anymore. That year I left the Christmas tree in its box, all season long. Story 2. The Man in the Santa Suit. I still remember Christmas Eve, 1997. I was just 7, living with my 4-year-old sister and our mom in a small house. My dad, a Jewish doctor, always took hospital shifts during big holidays like Christmas. And my mom, she used to be a good person. But at that time, she was a heavy alcoholic. Every night she'd pass out on the sofa, gone to the world. Christmas meant nothing to us. No tree, no presents, no twinkling lights or songs. Just another night, or so we thought. Around 8 p.m., while my sister and I were watching cartoons in the living room, we heard a knock at the door. No, not a knock. It was soft, rhythmic tapping, patient, deliberate. I peered through the frosted glass and saw a man in a full Santa outfit, red hat and a big silver sack. He saw me and smiled, waving. "Hey there, it's Santa. Open up, I've got presents for you and your sister." I didn't open. I just stepped back. I said, "Santa's not real, and he doesn't bring presents to Jewish kids." The man laughed loudly, but it wasn't a real laugh. Then he tilted his head and said, "Santa's changed this year. Not just Christian kids get gifts anymore. Santa comes for everyone." I gripped the door handle tighter, shaking my head. "I don't believe you." The smile vanished. His tone hardened. "Open the door. I know your dad's not home. Your mom can't hear anything. If you don't open, you'll regret it." I ran. Told my sister to call 911. But the dispatcher didn't understand. They must have thought it was a prank call from some kid. She warned us this was an emergency line, then hung up. The house suddenly felt colder, suffocating. My sister started crying, and then we heard footsteps, moving around back. With no other choice, I ran to the mantel, grabbed every Hanukkah candle, lit them all, then ran under the smoke alarm, waving the smoke upward. The fire alarm blared. 2 minutes later, the fire department arrived. But to my shock, Santa was still there. He ran up to them, waving. "Thanks, guys, I'm their dad." I dressed up to surprise the kids, but forgot my keys. I thought something was burning inside. One firefighter raised an axe, about to break down the door. I screamed, "No, he's not our dad. Our dad's working at the hospital." One firefighter paused. "You sure, kid?" I pulled my sister out, pointed at the kippah on my head and said, "We're Jewish. We don't celebrate Christmas. He doesn't belong here." I broke down crying, explaining everything, what he said, how he knew Dad wasn't home, how he threatened us. Thankfully, that firefighter believed me. He turned and asked the man, "Why are you dressed as Santa?" Trying to get into a Jewish family's house, I didn't hear his reply, but I saw the firefighter's expression change. Seconds later, 2 others tackled the man into the snow. Police were called. One officer stayed with us until our dad returned. He was angry, disappointed in Mom, but mostly he held us tight, like he never wanted to let go. Years later, I still think about that night. And I believe if we hadn't been Jewish, if we had opened the door believing in Santa, that might have been the last Christmas of our lives. Story 3. The Cabin in the Snow. Christmas 2022. My girlfriend Charlotte and I decided to escape the city for a few days, renting a cozy log cabin in the Pocono Mountains. We found it on Airbnb. The photos looked perfect: string lights, fireplace, outdoor hot tub, and most importantly, no people around. A snowstorm was forecasted, so we left early to stock up and settle in. After 4 hours on the road and a stop at Family Dollar for groceries, we turned onto a steep gravel road leading into the woods. The scene was like a postcard. Pine trees surrounded the cabin. The lawn sparkled with fake glowing reindeer, and a giant snowman stood like a silent gatekeeper. Inside was as cozy as we imagined, decorated tree in the corner, stockings by the fireplace, soft lighting and the scent of fresh wood in the air. We spent the afternoon unpacking, playing Christmas music, and cooking dinner: roast chicken, potatoes, cornbread. That night, snow began falling heavily. Charlotte invited me to the hot tub outside. The yard lights cast a warm glow across the snow. Everything looked perfect. Until the hot tub suddenly stopped bubbling. No more water sounds, no more music, only the wind and footsteps. At first, I thought I imagined it, but Charlotte grabbed my hand tightly. The footsteps, clearly human, were moving along the far side of the cabin through the silent woods. I wanted to call out, but Charlotte whispered, "Don't." We stayed still. The footsteps faded, then silence. I tried to stay calm. "Probably just a deer," I said, but I knew it wasn't. We went back inside, showered, and got into bed. Less than an hour later, 3 loud, angry bangs on the door. Not knocks pounding, like someone trying to break in. Charlotte clutched me, trembling. I was about to get up, but she grabbed my arm, whispering, "Don't. Whoever's out there, this isn't random." We sat upright in bed, silent, still. The banging stopped eventually, but the fear didn't. Next morning, I went outside to clear snow off the car. Underneath the fresh snowfall were footprints. They circled the cabin up to our bedroom window, then led back into the woods. They weren't from last night. It snowed all night. These were fresh. While I stood frozen, a man appeared behind my car. Tattered coat, gray pants, long greasy hair. He smiled. "Hey there. I'm Tom. I live nearby. Mike's brother, the host. Mike asked me to check on the hot water." I nodded, heart racing. Tom entered the house like he belonged there. He walked around, then headed straight for the basement. I texted Mike, "Tom is checking the hot water." Mike replied instantly, "Tom, who? I don't have a brother named Tom. No one lives near that cabin." I froze. I rushed to Charlotte's room and whispered, "Pack everything. We're leaving. Now." We threw our stuff into bags, didn't even check if we had it all. As I opened the car door, I saw Tom coming up from the basement, walking fast toward us. I hit the ignition and drove straight into the forest path. Didn't look back. Mike called 20 minutes later. He'd called the cops. They arrived, but no one was at the cabin. Basement door was still open. No one named Tom. No neighbors for at least 3 miles. I don't know who he was, where he came from, or what he wanted. But I know this. From the moment we arrived, he had been nearby, watching, waiting. Christmas is supposed to be about family love and warm memories. But if there's one thing these stories have shown us, it's this. Even the most peaceful moments can become your most terrifying memories. Because when you're stringing up lights, soaking in the hot tub, or waiting for someone to knock, you never really know who's watching from the other side of the snow. Thanks for listening, stay safe, and never let your guard down. See you next time, and have a safe holiday.